While at graduate school at a much larger Research One university, Dr. Susan Kraus was chastised for spending too much time mentoring her students and not enough time focusing on her research. Her response is a great explanation of the difference between a school like Fort Lewis College and the huge institutions. While I love research, she says, and have not neglected that part of my career, teaching will always be my highest priority. That statement also sums up why Dr. Kraus, an associate professor of psychology, was named the winner of the 2013 Alice Admire Outstanding Teaching Award. Alice Admire was a professor at Fort Lewis College for many years. She was a remarkable teacher, beloved by her students, and respected by her colleagues. And Dr. Kraus carries on that legacy today. I give you today's commencement speaker, Dr. Susan Kraus.
You guys are great, thank you. I am so proud of you and really honored to get to spend a few minutes of this special day with you. You've worked so hard to be here in these seats, wearing funny hats. Think for a minute about the last time you were in these seats. Convocation, 4 years ago. Think about who you were then and who you are now. So much growth, so much development. I hope when you look back at your college career, you're as amazed and astounded by yourself as I have been, watching you grow and change. I love freshmen, all new and shiny, pretending to be cool, thinking they know everything. They're adorable. But seniors, beautiful. Seniors are full of poise and polish and skills and maturity. They know they don't know everything. And this is just the beginning, the foundation of your future self. Now you get to choose what to do with this foundation and where you go from here. As Alex said, a college degree really opens doors, and it gives you so many choices of who you can be and what you can do with your career. And you should be really proud of this start. But I do disagree with Alex in one way, and that is, I think we should talk about what you're going to build on this foundation that you've started at Fort Lewis College. I know everyone's asking you. It's completely annoying, right? But as a psychologist, I know that that stuff that's really annoying, that's what we should be talking about. Socrates said it best, an unexamined life is not worth living. And winter's a great time to graduate. The long nights and short days give you plenty of time for contemplation and planning. I urge you to build your future self in a mindful way, paying attention, on purpose, balanced with compassion. My research on compassion with my colleague Sharon Sears and many students, some of which are sitting here today, is based around the premise that mindfulness, paying attention, increases your happiness and contentment in many ways. But it's not just paying attention that counts. It's how you pay attention that matters. Being critical or judgmental, that won't do it. In my research, I'm finding that it's compassion that matters. My most recent work looks at the role of self-compassion in Native American historical trauma. And we're finding that those with high levels of self-compassion avoid the negative impacts of historical trauma. It's not the amount of trauma that you've experienced and witnessed in your life, it's how you relate to the trauma and how you relate to yourself that really matters. Compassion, treating yourself as you would a valued, beloved friend, helps you carry burdens with more ease, more gently. And that's really exciting news because we can't change the past, but we can change how we relate to it and how we relate to ourselves. In very preliminary data, we're starting to find the same thing with veterans returning to college. Compassion, both towards self and others, is the most important predictor of adjustment to this new culture and this new environment. Positive psychology suggests that compassion, both for self and others, is one of the most important keys to lifelong happiness. So I urge you to keep in mind two concepts as you're examining your future: passion and compassion. Both take great bravery, and both bring great joy, and both require that you examine your choices, big and small. Passion is a great guide because it requires that you live the life that you love, wholeheartedly, unabashedly. It requires us to embrace our inner geek, to love what we love no matter what anyone else thinks. You can't fake it. You might be able to fool others, but you can't fool yourself. Living a life guided by your passion requires that you be your most authentic self with all your wonderful weirdness. Imagine what a colorful, exciting world it would be if we all felt free to be genuinely who we are and not limited by society's views of who we should be. Make mindful choices. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? What are my values? How do I want to live this life? And remember, you can't choose everything. It's just not possible. So pick one or two guiding principles and make your choices based around those values. Don't be swayed by what's easy, what's available, what's immediate. Much as they love you, don't let these people around you, your friends and family, make your choices for you. They chose their path. You get to choose yours. I graduated with my PhD and got married in the same week. Don't do that. Like you are now, I was at a turning point in my life, stepping from a lifelong role of student to what? Who did I want to be? What would my life be like with my partner? What kind of life did we want to build together? So many decisions. My husband and I took a full year to work on those decisions. We sold almost everything we owned. We lived in our pickup truck. We ran rivers. We climbed mountains. We traveled extensively. And we thought deeply about our future. We visited many places that we might call home. And we volunteered in those communities to see how we might fit in. We camped and traded work for lodging and housing. And we agreed on a set of guiding principles. And our year-long honeymoon really cemented our commitment to living our life based on those values. Some people thought we were crazy, leaving good jobs and opportunities at pivotal times in our careers, buying nothing, living so frugally. More people said we were lucky, incredibly lucky, to get that chance to take that time. But I have a secret to share. It wasn't luck. It was hard work and planning and sacrifice that made that time possible. We didn't have family money. We didn't have a fairy godmother waving a wand to make this all happen. For years, we were mindful of our choices, big and small, saving more than we spent, planning, keeping our eyes on our goal. And every choice was examined and weighed. And we developed a habit of living an examined life and making choices that were right for us, not what others thought. And we ended up here in this beautiful place, and I'm so grateful. When we first moved to Durango, I went to the psychology department to see if there was any chance of my getting work here. I showed up unannounced, looking, well, like I lived in a truck. And I interviewed with the department, and I was told I would never find work here. There were a lot of good reasons, but the answer was no. I didn't let that deter me for very long. I'd worked hard to get the training, to get into my job, my dream job, and I was willing to work even harder. This beautiful place was the place that we chose to live our life, to build our family, and we were determined to make it work. So I taught some classes at San Juan College at a pay rate that didn't even cover my gas money to get there. And by the middle of my first semester here, I was teaching 3 courses at Fort Lewis College and 2 classes at San Juan College. I was balancing that with selling books and catering and doing tons of statistical analyses. I was adjunct or visiting faculty here for 13 years before they finally gave up and gave me a tenure-track job. My dream job. There were no guarantees. And here I am now, talking with you. It's such an honor to get to talk with you a little bit today, and a bigger honor to get to do this job I love with such amazing students and wonderful colleagues. So don't let anyone define your dreams or tell you your dreams are too big or too small. My graduate advisors see my dream as a failure. Teaching part-time for 13 years, a waste of my training. They consider anything less than a research-driven R1 job to be a failure, and for them that might be true. But this life is mine, and it's my choice, and so is yours. So I urge you to make your choices with your eyes and your mind wide open, knowing who you are and what fulfills you. Build on this foundation that you have, guided by your passion. Recognize that you're human and you're going to make mistakes. Your path will not be smooth. Greet these problems with compassion, knowing that you're doing your best. Give others the similar benefit of compassion, recognizing that they too are on their own unique paths and they too will make mistakes. It's part of what makes us human. So, although you've graduated, I want to leave you with one last homework assignment. Spend some time and figure out what's most important to you, and let that guide all of your choices. Find your dream. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, make changes, make sacrifices to be who you want to be. The payoffs are a lifetime of joy, a lifetime of being who you genuinely are, and nothing can trump that. Thank you, and congratulations.